Hi there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are going to do a little energy check-in for Scorpio, Scorpios, all my fellow Scorpios. We did have a few cards fall right off the bat when I first started. So we're going to just take a peek. We've got Temperance, the Eight of Swords, and the Star. So this is just basically saying we have some kind of situation that we're overthinking. It's going to be important to be patient with ourselves as we work through that, and it has a happy ending. We just have to work through it and not allow ourselves to continue to think in circles all the way through. Okay, so let's get some cards on the board. This is just going to be a quick energy check-in. So this is not going to be, names, dates, serial numbers, anything like that. Just quick little tidbits about things that are happening. So let's put some cards on the table and see what comes up, shall we? For those of you who haven't seen me before, I do have 4 placements in Scorpio: my Sun, Mercury, Neptune, and Venus. So we'll see what shows up. This sign's also always a special interest for me. All right, so what do we have? First thing that I'm looking at does talk to me about environment, and environment is any place where we have energy or effort invested. So normally it shows up as home, but every once in a while it'll show up as work, the gym, someplace like that. So we want to be open about this, but it looks like there are things going on in our environment that are very positive. Things are sort of falling together. Things are moving smoothly in our environment, making good forward progress in our environment. So we could be even changing our environment, upgrading our environment, moving into a better environment, or we could just be feeling better about the environment that we have. Usually there's reasons why we feel better. So I'll leave that up to you to figure out where exactly, which environment we're talking about in your life. Now, subconscious leanings, we have the magician showing up in reverse, which just tells me that Scorpios in our subconscious, we're working on this idea of we're going through all the actions, we're doing everything we know how to do to make things happen along a way of something that we want to manifest, but we're feeling like we're beating our head against the wall, and the subconscious is really looking at, okay, what are we doing wrong? What are we missing here? What is it that we're not actually getting right, because there has to be something. And so the subconscious is sort of picking that apart right now, working on how can we actually make this manifestation happen. Next thing that we're looking at, for the fellow Scorpios, learning style and also communication style. So, learning style, I do think that learning has to do with the idea of money or of security right now, maybe even of health. So, we are looking at possibly how to be healthier, how to increase our income or be better with the income that we have. um, yeah, maybe even how to increase our energy. So, those are the types of things that we are studying or looking into right now. And then, as far as communication style, I think that we are pretty much an open book as we communicate. Whatever we're saying, I think we're being completely transparent on. How much we're saying is going to kind of depend on how many people are around us asking questions. And we may not be letting that many people around just because, Scorpios, we have a tight circle. Excuse me a moment. Okay, there we go. I just didn't want you guys to have your ears blown out with me sneezing. I apologize. All right, so next thing that we're looking at talks to me about work for those of us with Scorpio placements. So, work is really interesting what shows up here because it tells me that there's some kind of idea, new innovative idea that is showing up around work for us. Now, I need to back up a little bit. Work can be how we make a living, but it also can be other things that we're doing as well to feel productive in our community or in our family. Sometimes work is remodeling the kitchen at the house, sometimes work is doing volunteer work. Sometimes work is just really mentoring the little ones or the younger ones in the family. So, and like I said, sometimes work is paid work, sometimes it's our own business. Anyway, when it comes to work, we are understanding something at a deeper level than we ever have. We've got this new innovative idea that really can can change things if we implement it. Right now, it's just an idea phase. And so it remains to be seen whether it'll be implemented or not, but it's there. It's there. All right, next thing that we're looking at, fellow Scorpios, talks to me about that part of our personality, which is growing or expanding right now. If you guys hear a little bit of noise, there is everybody's home upstairs. There's a 5-year-old and his mama that live upstairs. So sometimes you will hear he gets a little bit loud, and that's okay. Let's see. I think it's okay. I hope it doesn't bother you guys. And sometimes we hear road noise here too. Ba-da-da-da. So, where are we growing and expanding, fellow Scorpios? Hmm. I think we have a very serious decision in front of us. And I think that we're growing and expanding and figuring out how do we want to find the answer to this decision? How do we want to, which side of the fence do we want to land on, and figuring out how to do that? All right, now, next cards that come up are going to work together like a hand in a glove. So I'm going to tell you what they are before I actually interpret them, just to keep things simple for everybody. So the first card I'm going to look at is going to talk about things that we stand up for. Okay, so this is something that somebody might ask us to explain, or maybe they confront us about it. Maybe they cry and whine about it. And so we have to stand up for this. We have to explain this. And then the next card that I'm going to look at is going to talk about how that person feels after they have the interaction with us about whatever it is we're standing up for here. So, what I see us standing up for is the idea that there's somebody that we've cut off. We just don't talk to them. We just don't. We don't talk to them on Facebook. We don't talk to them on Instagram. We don't talk to them in voicemail. We don't talk to them in Messenger. We do not talk to them at all unless it's a situation where there's like co parenting. And then we keep the conversation to the bare minimum. Okay. So this is what we're standing up to somebody about. We're explaining, this is why I did this. Now, how this person feels after this interaction that asked us about this or confronted us about this, they really feel like, that was a big change. They feel like us cutting this person out was a huge change. And so I think that they are recognizing that and acknowledging that it was that it wasn't easy basically, and that it was a process. All right. Now, ba-da-da-da, next thing that we're looking at may or may not have happened so far, along with the other things that show up here on the board. And so this is talking to me about our listener experience of the time frame right now is this idea that we're finding attraction with somebody or something around. Now, usually when we find attraction, it has to do with a person that we're finding attraction to, but sometimes it'll be an activity or a project that we're attracted to. So we're finding something that we're attracted to and really enjoying that attraction during this time frame. Now, at the same time that this is happening, I think we're doing some things a little bit unplanned or spur of the moment, sort of off the cuff. Not everything is definitely just written out on that calendar before it happens. And we also have this idea of getting away from home. So there may be the idea of traveling coming up as well that we're attracted to, or it may be that as we're finding this new attraction, we also have travel on the books. And now, oh, do we want to leave or do we want to do this traveling? Maybe we want to stay around because of this new thing that we're attracted to or this new person. So there may be a little bit of push pull right there. But I do see both of those actually coming up here, being away from home and also the sense of attraction. And then once we get to the end of this life cycle that I'm looking at for right now, which will just kick us into the next life cycle, fellow Scorpios, what I'm seeing here is a King of Wands showing up in reverse, which just talks about somebody who I think it's somebody who's in our sphere of influence. And this is somebody who has some type of problem or dilemma situation. They're not exactly sure how to deal with it yet. And they may be coming to us and using us as a sounding board to sort of talk through, okay, these are my options, and sort of working through what are the best options. They may or may not want us to actually respond and give them answers. Sometimes people just want to be able to say things to kind of hear them for themselves with their own brains. Sometimes people actually want us to respond. So we want to be sensitive to that whenever that happens, and respond as appropriately and as needed. So that's what I've got for those of us who have Scorpio placements. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to share this video with other Scorpios who may find it helpful. And of course, thank you for liking and commenting on this video. And of course, I do private readings, so you can check out my website to see how all that works. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.